Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. So we are working on our event handler, which is just multiple different states. So we tried trying to do event triggers and stuff, but right now I think the move for us is we want to trigger something like an opening cinematic, right? So this is a test where we go from our play state, we change into an opening cinematic state, and we're just rendering hello moving on text here. So this just proves when we change into a state, we can take the current scene we're at, we can take the current player, we can take the current above ground tile IDs, all that stuff, and also have a custom update. So this hello is scrolling by, that exists totally outside of any of the logic for the scene right now. So this gives us a little proof of concept of we can define a scene and kind of declare unique things happening in it. So we can do like a opening cinematic where the input for your keys doesn't move your player character, but your player character will play out a scripted event here. So I think the move is we want to test a couple more things, right? Like we want to test coming back, like resuming a play state after time. So it's like we walk, it triggers a play state, and then let's trigger it back, or it triggers a cinematic state. It will trigger it back to a play state, make sure everything can resume as if nothing happened. And then we'll get stuff like, well, let's ensure we're still updating the tile IDs for all of our tiles so that we get our animated tiles still animating during a cinematic or during a different state. So that's important because the flowers are moving here until we stop and change states. So we need to do that and then lock our player too. So certain events might make the player walk to a certain location, or certain events might make the player face the camera here, or whatever we decide is necessary. So we're going to be trying to work out the details for triggering these different events, and we've just come up with the solution of trying just different state machine handling for it, because we need initial values, we need updated values, and we need to render the current globals for like our scene view and our player. So I do want to see where we're rendering our updated tiles, right? So if we look at our animation scene, like where do we have our animations? Because we're rendering different tiles for all of our animated tiles over time, and I'm not sure where we're actually doing that, where we're actually rendering it to make sure we have that logic in a different state. So let's see where we're doing this animatables, I think I call it. Okay, so it's a whole table of animatables that we define, and then it looks like we have an insert animation that we run on the animation table, and we insert the animatable. Okay, so where do we render? Well, insert anim. Let's see, because the animatables table index I we just execute. So where is this insert animation taking place? We declare it in a dot insert animations. So we need to find where this insert animations is being used. So we can track it down. No, insert animations. Insert animations. I don't see where we're actually rendering it. Let's see what insert animations actually does. Oh, update in the map. That's where it is. But I think we're updating our map already. We should be updating our map already in our base state, cinematic state. So let's make sure I add this to our harpoon, and we can see. Oh yeah, we are not updating it. So we need to update the insert animations table from our current map. So if we look at where our map is, it's hard because we need a global map, so it's at our location of map and current row. Let's see, because we're rendering. We have a scene view that we're rendering, so we need to update the map, the current map in our scene view, I'm pretty sure. So if we go to scene view, go to the current map, go into the insert animations table and update each of those, then we should, I'm hoping, have animated tiles when we're in a different cinematic state, and it looks working. Nice. Okay, so we're updating that. We're not updating our player. You can see I'm giving input, but we're not updating player's location. So this is a great start for this. The one thing I don't like about this approach is that we have all of this render function as part of like if we have, let's say, 100 different scenes, 100 different scripted events, we need to be able to reuse most of this logic, because like most of this is like, yo, let's render our hearts that we currently have, let's render the element we have equipped on our player, let's render our inventory item slots, let's render our scene view, which is our current map, as well as our player, as well as any entities that are in there, and then the keylogger. So it's like it'd be nice if we can kind of outsource all this to a base state render or a special state render, event dispatch render, something like that, and we can just say that, okay, because if we have 100 of these, I don't want to have to be copying pasting all of this same logic just to get specific things working. Like, we know we're going to need to render the current scene view we set our cinematic to. We need to render our player if it's in there. We need to render any entities and update any entities. So we need a couple of different things. We probably need the update entities in the scene also, because if we pause, we still want, well, I don't know. I guess that's up for discussion too, because it's like we can not systematically update entities. We can declare any specific entities and update them depending on the scene, right? Because I don't know, they might have a different walk speed. They might have a different walking pattern, because we only have 2 walking patterns for our NPCs. So this is all stuff we got to figure out. So this is a good step. We've got the animations working. So let's try to trigger out back into the play state. So we're gonna listen for a keyboard press function. So keyboard was pressed, enter, or return for Mac. And then we would change our global state machine, so it would be our global state machine. We change back into the play state, which I believe is like this, where it says play state. It's probably not that. Let's see. Play state camel case. Okay. So if we hit enter, we'll go back into the play state. So let's test that out. We're walking. We trigger a cinematic. We stop updating our player, but we render the current scene. We have custom update logic, custom render logic. Then if we hit enter, it looks like we're back in business. Oh, and then we're triggering it again, which makes sense. So, you know, it looks like a little bit of render difference on some of the background here. I don't know what that's about. Looks like it shifts color just a little bit. Draw HUD overlay. Where could we be doing that stuff? I don't know where that issue would come in. Might be under the graphics clear. I don't know. No, I don't think it'd be there. I don't know what it'd be. Well, that actually... Yeah, that doesn't look wrong anymore. Uh-oh. Yeah, that actually doesn't look wrong anymore, so... Maybe that was it. Okay. It seems to be working as expected. Okay, so what's the next thing we want to test? Well, we'd want to try and teleport us, right? Like we want to go, hey, what's up, Squinch? We'd want to go from one scene to another scene once we trigger this cinematic. So we'd want to change our current scene views, map row, map call, and then do a certain amount of something, and then change us back. You know, like can we change the state to another level? Essentially, do a certain update and then trigger a change back to the play state once we reset our variables to whatever they may be. So how would we do that? We have a scene view, current row, current map. What is it? You know, we would have to change, because it's like I'm thinking for the opening cinematic, you know, we might be in the top right of the volcano area. We probably would draw this custom scene in the other world, because it's probably not a place you can go in the game. I don't exactly know. But I imagine the opening cinematic is going to have, you know, for the title screen, we have a title screen here, and it's like Tashio Tempo with a volcano behind you. And I think I wanted the opening cinematic to be, I want it to have like so like there's two things I'm talking about here. Like one thing is like the title screen cinematic, where it's going to be dark, there's going to be like ominous music, there's going to be like some lightning and then like a volcano eruption, as you know, as we pan down to see the volcano there, and then it erupts or whatever, and then you get the title screen. But then if you're starting the game for the first time, it'll boot you into this specific opening cinematic, I'm calling it, which is just the first cinematic we're gonna see, which is like Tashio knocked out in the volcano land with lava flowing all around him, and he's knocked out. So that's where it starts. So we need a way to trigger a different scene change, right? So I think it's, what is it? Let's see. If here in the init we say, let's take our scene view dot current map dot row and call, you know, we'd assign this, and then that's the current scene that's rendering. Yeah, you know, and then the thing is, I guess it depends how interactive we need it to be, because I'm trying to think of, if we just change these values here, does it change, you know, does it only change what's rendering and it doesn't change any collidable map objects or any NPCs, you know, because it's kind of hard to wrap my head around that. But it looks like, you know, there's got to be a better way. So like I'm realizing why I draw empty tiles so often is because there's no way to grab and move the map when you first start out. Okay, so part of me thinks like let's just put a test start up here at 110. So it should be like lava. We should see this top right corner when we spawn there. So let's try this where the row is 1, column is 10. And we're changing that in our scene view before we're rendering it. So we should trigger a new scene. Same player location. No, it didn't move us. So we should render. Yeah, it didn't change anything actually. We must have got this wrong. Let's see our scene view. Scene view, current map row, yeah. Yeah, it looks like we've got that right. It's just that I guess if we look at our scene instantiation, we'll see how we're kind of rendering the thing, and it's rendering at a self.map row for the scene. So it's this map row, map call. So the scene.map row map call, not the current map. So, okay. So yeah, scene map row map column. So let's do that. So we'll go here and it's the scene map row map column. Okay, so yeah, we're trying to see that top right corner of the volcano here. And it doesn't do it. Shit. Yeah, it's just, that's not it. Scene view map row map call. Oh, you know what? I think we might have to reinstantiate. Well, shit. I think we might have to do something like this where we say scene view gets, or scene view dot current map gets a new map instantiation of whatever the map row map call is. So let's look at when we kind of do this instantiation elsewhere. Current map. Okay, yeah, we're just looking for a where we assign the current map to become a new map, like upon a scene transition or something. So yeah, we do that here, and we say current map gets next map, right? Where is it? Okay. We aren't really doing what I thought. Oh no, we are. Yeah, it's a map. Oh, that's what it is. Map, not all uppercase. Yeah, we're just trying to do a new instantiation. So we're trying to say, okay, the current map that we're now looking at is a map with a very specific row and column to load. So if we do this, we say current map is actually this map, and this map is at our scene views, and it's actually not at the scene view current map row. We give it a specific one because it's like, you know, we're telling the opening cinematic here which location it's supposed to be at. It's supposed to be at 110. And then when we update the current map for our scene view, we should be able to see it update, and it should look like we teleport. Shit. Map 15 for limit must be a number. Yeah, we need a spellcast entities that we pass in. Well, let's just say you got 0, dude. Okay, it worked. It teleported us to the scene where we need to play out a position. So we can also do certain stuff like limit our... Well, okay, so we do need to also snag original player position, right? So we can say original position X, original player position X and Y, so that we can reset our player to where they used to be before the cinematic, if the cinematic calls for it. I'm just testing stuff out here. So we're gonna snag that from our global player, and we're just gonna say, let's just take our global players X and global players Y. Just snag it, because we're gonna update it, because now we're gonna say that our global players X is gonna be at the very top left of the screen, just for testing purposes. And then we're gonna say, we set our player's position, we change our map, we go ahead and we render whatever update, whatever current animation updates, and then when we go to trigger a back to our play state, we're gonna say we gotta reinstantiate our current map, which is gonna be a map with whatever we left the scene at. In this case, it's a 7-4, and then a spellcast entity of whatever 1 for now. But this needs to be global to our players and spellcast entity count. We'll probably add that today so we don't forget that. So let's see, we're here. We're gonna trigger it. Reset our position. It locks our location. It locks our player's input location. It changed us to the right scene, and then if we hit enter, we go back to the scene. Oh yeah, we're doing this crappy. We're just doing this crappy trigger here, where we change. To the opening cinematic upon a timer. So we just need to change that. Event timer gets initialized back at 0 here. So let's just say, instead of this timer to change the opening cinematic, what we're gonna do is just do a simple trigger here, just so we can test it. Was pressed, and we're just gonna put it on Y, because why not? If Y is pressed, then let's go ahead and change to our opening cinematic. And then if enter is pressed, when we're in that cinematic, we should go back to the other original position. Now we need to reset our players X and Y to be what it used to be, just as a proof of concept, because we don't really need this for the opening cinematic, but I'm just trying to get a feel for what it might look like to do other cinematics with this method, because I'm still not like 1,000% sold on individual state machines being the way to do this. But it seems like the best solution I've got at the moment, so just trying to test it out and see what's possible. So after 2 seconds, actually, yeah, it doesn't trim it now. So like whatever scene we're at, we're gonna hit Y, and we trigger this opening cinematic, which has some custom update, some renders for the scene, and then if we hit enter, we go back to where we were. This is great. Yeah, and then if we go back, it'll reset back that original state. So we can trigger certain things. This is good. So like, this is good. I think I want to think about how we can kind of automate the render for other state machines like this, because I don't like the idea of having potentially 100 states, 100 event states, and then having to copy and paste all that render logic over and over and over again. So we might just export this render logic as like a render function, and then maybe we can kind of automate that a bit and clean it up. And then all that's needed in the opening cinematic, or in any of the state machines code base, there is the init logic, the update logic, and then any supplemental render logic. Like if we have a particle system that's unique to the opening cinematic, we would go ahead and do that, and we can add that in on top of the default event render function. So I do want to get rid of this magic number here. I want to be able to say that, hey, let's put our spellcast count here, and let's do that for our instantiations, because this is, for whatever reason, we have this set to however many spells we've got. We're rendering them based on this spellcast count, and for whatever reason we define this as a parameter in our map, which doesn't make any sense. So we'll probably change that. But let's at least get it fixed now so that we don't have this magic number screwing us. And we'll go, yeah, let's find this spellcast entity count that we use. And we have this spellcast entity count as a local variable here that we do. We want to pull this. We want to pull this from the player when we init the scene. So we're gonna get rid of this and pass in from the player the spellcast count. Then we'll continue to search for any spellcast entity. Spellcast entity count. Okay, spellcast entity count. Yeah, why do we do this? This should be the spellcast count also from here, because the player's going to be able to update this value as they unlock more proficiency. So this needs to be a number that can get modified. Spellcast entity count. Okay, we need to replace all the spellcast entity counts here with spellcast entity count with the global players spellcast count. Okay, and then let's keep searching. Spellcast entity count. Oh, yeah, we still do this here too. Okay. Global player. Spellcast count. Okay. Looks like we've just got 2 more. We've got this one. Should have done a global find and replace there for that. It's spellcast count. No? Okay. Okay. So now we just need to define this spellcast count in our initialization. And then we should have access to it. We need to go to our player class. And we need to make sure we have it here pulled from the definitions. We init our entity by itself, so I mean, we can, it starts off as 1, so we can just initialize it as 1, then just increment it as we upgrade. Okay, well, let's see. We should, you know, it should render the same. It should, shit. The scene crashes on the global player because we don't have access to it. Okay, you know, every time I change something that is weird, it's often breaks things because it's only weird because we couldn't figure out how to do it unweird. So we do have a scene views player X at least here. So why would it not like us here doing that? Spellcast entity count. What line did it fail on? Scene 10. Okay, it doesn't like the spellcast count on the player here. Where do we require our scene? Is it before we instantiate a player? Because we might have to just say, let's, no, I don't think it would matter. Let's see, if I comment this out, I think it'll still crash. Yeah. Count as a nil value. Oh, okay, well, let's just say, just a test. Okay, so far so good. We got a spellcast going. Okay, so it's just the, looks like it's just the global use of it here. So let's do a let's replace all count. Let's see. So we're gonna substitute count with G player, and actually it's gonna be, yeah, G player. You know, we don't need count is spellcast count. Like, we don't need this, because if we look at what count is doing, all we're doing is calculating the step based on the count, and we're calculating the count based on, shoot. Okay, well, we can do this. X and Y, step and count. This is for rendering the, okay. Shoot. Yeah, we just have to change it into, instead of little local variables, we just need to put these into field, into the scene field for us. So we have a spellcast count here. Okay. Oh, it's 12:09. We missed our commit. We missed our commit before midnight. It's okay. Okay, We have a spellcast entity count. We're looking to get this definition, this global player definition, outside of this local scope, put it in our scene init, so we have access to a global player before we do it. So let's just copy these things, and we'll put them in our scene init here, and we'll put them. And I'll just put them before these transitions. Okay, before this, all this entity count stuff. So we want to say that we're changing this local to local space to a self dots whatever, and this is going to be a self dot count, and this is going to be a self dot y. Now we need to change the step in the x and y to reference these self objects now. So we need to find where we use them and just make sure, yeah, right here, like step. You know, step is going to be replaced. We're going to replace every step with self step. And then we need our x and y to be our self x and y. Oh, and that's actually a bad thing to do. It should be very specific. Self would be the scene, right? And then we're not trying to change the scene. It'd be the well, where do we use it? Let's see. We search for x being used. That's going to be a nightmare. We set x to be, yeah, it's right here. Let's call it spellcast, self.spellcast x, because we need this. Wow, that can get nasty. Yeah, let's do it right here. Let's replace the x with spellcast x. And then same thing with y. Okay, it doesn't look like it likes that, probably because we don't have it declared. So let's make sure we declare it proper here. Oh yeah, we commented it out anyway. So this is going to be spellcast x and spellcast y gets mouse position. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see if this works. Nope, 105. We missed something here. We broke something here with our replacement. I don't see what's wrong. Something in here we changed and it broke. The X of the spellcast entities here is supposed to be tweening the local X we defined out there, so that should be right. Everything looks right other than we changed that. Spellcast X. Looks right to me. Oh man, dude. Oh, it should be illegal for NeoVim to take that long to open on Windows, man. Okay. Oh, it's in our scene here. Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't look like we screwed that up. Spellcast X, Spellcast Y. Yeah, I mean, the coloring here is all jacked up, so it's like, why did it not like this? Okay, yeah, if we put in, we put in our old values there, we're fine. So this is just the tween value where we're assigning the X of our spellcast. Yeah, I don't see why this is wrong. Why does it just, like, all we changed was the which X you get, and it's just the spellcast X. And it starts to not like that. It's already not finished. Yeah, why? It already broke the code here, at least for the LSP. Shoot, man, there's got to be another place we were using X or something that it just didn't like that. If we leave it X and Y, oh, come on. Not what I wanted, dude. Why? Okay, we have to be using this X elsewhere. We have to be. I think it was in the scene where we use... It has to be in the render. Oh, right here. Oh, see, look, we set these to be global. Okay, that's way wrong. Yeah, this is awful. We set global XY in the scene to be mouse positions. That's probably the worst thing I've done. That's like the worst coding sin I've done in this game. But it's still okay. So does that mean when we do that, love mouse get position? Why? No, like that shouldn't be why we're messing up here, because we have the X and Y right here tweening. We got rid of the old X and Y, which was a local here. Spellcast X. Oh, well, it is at a love mouse get position. Why did we do this globally? Why did we do that? Okay, still doesn't like this. Yo, I don't know what to do. Is there any other part we use any of our spellcast entity variables for? Well, we have a spellcast entities which we took out. So we kind of need a spellcast count here from our global player. Oh my god, dude, still doesn't like it. Still doesn't like it. Do you like it if we just say that this is 1? Oh, you don't like it. So when we knit a map somewhere, we're not giving it a spellcast entity count? This is brutal. This is brutal. I literally just want to change one little number to be not local, but on the player. That's all I wanted to do. Shit. Okay, well, I found more X things to update, I think, with our spellcast X and Y, but why is it based on mouse? This is so wrong. Should not be based on the mouse position. Why did we do that? Shit. I might have to undo everything in this scene, man. Okay, let's take a look. I'm very confused to why we had... See, it's got to be mad at this spellcast count right here. We'll put a 1 in there and see if it fixes it, but we're very off. See, because why is our spellcast X being generated based on our mouse position? I think that was a mistake. I think we didn't want that. And we do the same thing here. We say the scene update. Well, we're going to snag our spellcast X and Y based on a get position from the mouse. What does the mouse position have to do with anything in the game? You know, it doesn't. Okay, let's try. I don't know why we did that. How did we kill our session? Looking for our scene view here, and I'm just gonna say it's gonna be this self.player .spellcast count. Still hates us, still hates our guts. Can't do this right now. Let's restore our scene Lua file. We also, in our map, we have changed our spellcast entities parameter to be a spellcast count, which we also have hard coded, which is awful. Yeah, let's change this one too. Let's revert this one. Yeah, let's revert this one. That's in our source map.lua. So all we have is we've touched the player. We've given it a spellcast entity count, which is what we want. And then we have opening cinematic based on a couple of different stuff, a couple of different tests we've added. Let's see if we run. Yeah, we're back. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of things I really don't like about how we've developed the spellcast system, because it's like, first of all, our maps are declared with a spellcast entity count parameter for how many spellcast entities need to go around the player in the map instantiation, which is like the stupidest thing I could think of. And then also, we have both in our scene and our map, we have declared different spellcast entity count values for different things, which is right now hard coded to 1, which is wrong because it needs to update based on the player. So we do need to rehaul this so it's just sticking to the player, because it relates to the player, not the scene, not the. I mean, it does ultimately relate to the scene. Because it's rendered in the scene, but it's ultimately following the player, which is following the scenes. So it should stick to the player. And it is really messy right now. I don't get why, we have this spellcast entity count that we just locally declare right here, and this was working fine. Other than, the hard-codedness of it, but yeah, we need to rehaul this so that the spellcast entity count is pulled from the player itself, It's just that the issue is the global player isn't defined until however long down the stack. So if we declare it like we are out here, it's been crashing because our global player doesn't exist at this point in time when we call our scene. Not even our scene init, just our scene in general. So we need to come in and update this and add the player self.spellcast count right here. Yeah, so it's fine to init this with 1 because you start off with 1, but we need all the other instances of this to relate to the field on the player. Okay, well, I gave it a shot tonight and I screwed everything up, so at least we've got our opening cinematic testing stuff working. I got sidetracked and then kind of broke everything. So I didn't get very far today, but it'll be nice. It'll be nice once that's in a better spot. That makes more sense. And then it'll be scalable, right? So I don't know if the demo is going to have more than one spellcast entity count. I think it'd be nice to upgrade it once in the demo. So maybe we'll have maybe we'll have something in the demo that you can unlock a second spellcast entity, which could be nice. And then we do want, thinking through, I do want, I want the loot to be playable in the demo because we have that working, and if it doesn't work in the demo, or, if we don't incorporate it in the demo, I think that would be kind of a tragedy. Hey, thanks for the follow. I cannot see normal leaf. Hey, thank you. Yeah, today, low energy day, a little late for me. I didn't get as much done as I was hoping, but we are at least triggering a scene cinematic here as a test, which is nice, and then we can come back out of it and it'll load us wherever we came from. So that's cool that we've got that working. But yeah, we need to rehaul a couple things. I would like if the loot's playable in the demo because that would be nice. And oh, you know what? That was really, wow. We have an incorrect collidable pushing object in here. Yeah, that is really messed up. Yeah, you shouldn't be pushing on anything in here. Yeah, that's bad. Well, I think, we didn't change anything here, so we should be able to just close that. Well, we didn't even save it. We didn't even export a new global map today, so why would that be broken? Yeah, good point. I don't know. We didn't export a new global map, so that's telling me that, that our load is messing it up, because right here we're able to walk through, trigger this, but if we load our cinematic, or load our cinematic with this, and then come back out, we now have the pushables here. Yeah, that is way wrong. Okay, so if the pushables, let's see where the pushables are even coming from. Did we call it a table of pushables? We have a class type of pushables. We put them in collidable map objects, don't we? Or how do we say what is a pushable? Well, it's a class type pushable if the collidable map objects has a class type of pushable. Okay, and that is in our scene. So we need to reset the collidable map objects to the scene when we do our loads. So we need to make sure to do this when we trigger a load back from our opening cinematic. We need to also come back and update our maps, collidable objects, and it's like it's that we probably need to both load the collidable map object from the scene we're teleporting to, as well as load it back from the original row. So we can snag this. We can snag original scene row and the original scene column from our scene view current map row and call. So we're going to snag those because we need to be able to reset it. So when we come in here, we're just going to say that we need to load our dot map objects that is in let me think. We change our map because it's not that we need to flush out this table. It's just that for whatever reason our other scene thought that we were loading our collidable map objects from our old scene. This is way wrong. Hey, what's up, Loki? Good evening. Yeah, it's more of a good night for me, but yeah, why would our load be pulling in our collidable map objects from 7.2? So when we load our test cinematic and then come back out of it, that was wrong. Well, that didn't load the pushables. That didn't load the pushables, oddly enough. So why did it seem to load them here? So no pushables blocking our way, but if we load a thing, come back out. Okay, this is messing with me. Because it didn't break that time, but load, give it a second. Come back, no pushables. So did we accidentally how we didn't even we commented that out, so that didn't fix it. We didn't even use our original row, so that didn't fix it. Did we do something else other than try to test that and come back? Yeah, no pushables now. What the I swear I didn't make that up. I'll watch the replay and see if I can see what might have triggered that. It doesn't make sense to me that it would have triggered the wrong collidable map objects because we set our map row. We only render collidable map objects in our current map row and column, so I don't see why that issue would have happened, but it did. Wow, okay, well we already commit and push, so this is just something that we didn't use. Okay, well, yeah, testing opening cinematic. We missed our commit for the day because it was after midnight, but it's okay. We still programmed today. It's reassuring that we're able to do certain stuff like this for the state machine. So we'll continue down this route. You know, I'm going to refactor that spellcast count back into the player so that it can scale as we get upgrades, and it should be linked to the player, not the scene. And then, you know, I'll have to plan out what the opening cinematic actually is. I've got an idea, like the blue mage is going to come find Tashio knocked out in the lava, and he's going to use some magic to kind of lift him up and rescue him and like move him out. So like he's gonna kind of come and rescue him and take him off screen, and then you'll wake up in the mage's castle, and he'll be telling you what went down with the eruption and everything, and telling you to take it easy, and that like you're very weak right now, so you got to be careful. You can't even do magic anymore, but I'll work with you to get your magic working again. So when you're ready, come find me at the pool hall and hit me up, and then I'll teach you some magic. So I think that's kind of where I'm leaning for the opening cinematic, to kind of walk through a couple different scenes like that, and then once that's working, we can retackle what's hardest on our list here. But this is definitely harder than designing the dungeon, so I think we were right in trying to tackle this soon, because we need this working for the demo. So we'll continue chugging along, and hopefully make some better progress here soon. So I'll run the credits, call it a night. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll figure some more game dev stuff out. Let's see who is streaming for a raid. We've got Aria, Fanny Slam, Hypnotic. Okay. Yo, Jed M is streaming. He's a super cool dude. We'll raid out to him. I always like his streams. So thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you all have a good night. Catch you later.
We need to get File Finder. Finding focus! Hey! Welcome back! You've come at a good time. I'm doing the most interesting stuff ever.